JJTHC.com is the place to go for a custom-built website, custom graphic design work, and for promotional videos for your business or personal use. Check the link in the description below to get pricing. How's everybody doing? This is Joey from JJTHC, and welcome to the review of the 2016 13-inch MacBook Pro with TouchBar. In today's video, I will be answering the question, should I upgrade? Without any further ado, let's get right into the video. Now what I have here is the 13-inch MacBook Pro with upgraded RAM to 16 gigabytes. This is the $2,100 model, and the first thing I noticed about this computer was how light it was. I really noticed a difference to the last generation MacBooks. Even though it's only half a pound lighter, you can really notice the difference. The next thing I noticed right away was super eager to try out was the second generation butterfly keyboard on the laptop. I was amazed and really enjoyed it during my first impression. The keyboard is a love it or hate it style, and obviously I loved it. You have to try it out for yourself to really know. I don't like super shallow keyboards, but this one spoke to me. When people say that you can type really fast and faster than normal on this keyboard, they're not lying. I can type an average of 77 words per minute without any mistakes on the MacBook keyboard, but my regular keyboard that I have at my desk, which is the Logitech K750 solar powered keyboard, I only type 75 words per minute without any error. It isn't a big improvement, but it's still an improvement. It also gives out a really nice sound and is a hard click, which is really surprising. Here's a listen at the keys. Moving on is the trackpad. It is 2 times bigger than last generation, and they are not lying. It's almost too big in my opinion. I've watched some reviews of this MacBook, but they say it gets in the way while you're typing. For me, this is not the case. I've had it only happen once to me where I was typing and I accidentally clicked with my palm in a different place and started typing there. It's not a problem with me, and I am welcoming the change. One thing that I don't like about this is for some reason you can't make it click silently like last generation MacBooks, but it isn't really that big of a deal. Above the hardware I previously just talked about, and is the biggest and most eye-catching feature of the entire computer, the TouchBar. Right now, at the time of this recording, it's a gimmick. Not really any third-party developers are taking advantage of it yet. Once they do, I think that'll make the TouchBar so much better, and people won't be saying it's not worth it to have it. Right now, you really only can do basic functions like change the volume, brightness, the play and pause button, which is basically the only thing I actually use of the TouchBar. I don't use it that often for actual tasks in applications because it hasn't really been taken advantage of. If you were wondering how to get the actual function keys back, you just hold the function button. Changing or customizing it is also pretty easy. Go up to View and select Customize TouchBar, which will prompt you to change anything you would like. You can do this for any application that supports the TouchBar to suit you, but it can be a little confusing because the position of the TouchBar icons move every time you open a new application. All the TouchBar is shortcuts. The same shortcuts you can use by using the keyboard shortcuts, which are way faster. This is the first generation of this TouchBar, and I expect bugs and things that don't really make sense about it because it can only get better with time. I'm telling you not to diss the TouchBar yet, give it a chance. Along with the TouchBar comes with Touch ID, which is super duper helpful, and I'm welcoming it. It is so instant that you only need to tap your finger on the sensor instead of typing out a password. Now when I have it docked, it makes me dread putting in my password because I know that I can just tap the computer if my MacBook was open. Another huge thing with the piece of hardware is the ports. Apple gives you 4 USB-C ports. Watch almost any review and they will say it's absolutely horrible, but for me, I don't think it's really that big of a problem. We are now in the stage where we are making the switch over to USB-C. We need all of these adapters because we are in the transition stage, and once we're out of it, it'll be amazing. Everything will be USB-C and everything will be universal. One cord to charge any laptop, phone, tablet is the future. The downside of this transition period is that we have to use a lot of dongles, which can get overwhelming. For me, it's not really a problem because I don't really need that many ports when I'm traveling. When I'm home, I only need one dongle to connect me to my HDMI monitor and my USB hub that I have had for a long time that connects to my mouse, keyboard, webcam, etc. I don't have a problem with it, and in a couple years, I guarantee that every computer and phone will have these ports and USB-A will be dead and gone. A lot of people talk about the screen and them noticing a huge difference. Well, I don't. When they announced the Mac, they said it was 67% brighter, but I don't really think that that's really the truth. I do notice that it's brighter, but not a huge difference like they're marketing. Also, I don't really see a difference in the color gamut like they said. For me, it looks exactly the same as last generation's screen, and I'm fine with it because it's already really good and amazing. The bezels are smaller, which does make it look a lot better when you're using it. I still love the Retina display, which is still great. On top of that, in the bezels is a potato. I mean 720p HD webcam, which sucks. Why don't you upgrade this stinking webcam, Apple? What the heck, 720p? We have a new color this year, and it is space gray, and it looks awesome. The Mac has been silver for a long time now, and this color mixes things up. Stealth mode unlocked. For some reason, when you have it open with the great backlit keys and the dark space gray of the laptop, it just makes you feel cool. I kinda wish they had the matte black version and some other colors like gold and rose gold, but I'll take it. Another thing about the build is that there's no glowing Apple logo anymore, and I'm sad to see it go because it was the iconic symbol that you're using a Mac. But I guess it's not that big of a deal. This is one of the best looking laptops that has ever been built in my opinion because it's full metal, very minimalistic, and has sharp edges which makes the laptop look amazing. You really can't beat the aesthetics of this laptop. Battery life on this guy is not good. Ask anybody that has the new MacBook and they will tell you that you only get around 4 hours of battery if you're just watching YouTube. If you're editing it in Premiere, you probably are only going to get 1 to 2 hours, which is a big letdown. The MacBook was already thin enough last generation, and making it thinner and removing battery is not a smart move. That is something that I just hate about this computer. Last generation Macs got around 8 hours just watching YouTube, and 4 to 5 hours editing in Premiere, which is about a 50% loss of actual usage time. Apple can say that it's only down from 74.9 watt hours to 49.2 watt hours, but the actual usage time is really bad, and they need to fix that for the next time they release the new MacBook laptops, whenever that will be. Speed. The new SSD in this Mac is just blazing fast. I don't know what witchcraft Apple did to get this fast of an SSD in the computer, but I really like it. Speeds over 1,300 megabytes per second writing and well over 2,000 megabytes per second reading. I just love it so much, and an SSD really does make the whole computer feel faster and newer, even if it is a really old computer with an SSD. It feels like a new computer. Let's talk about the glitches because they're absolutely horrible, and I don't know why they exist only on this Mac version. None of the other Macs really have these problems. For me, I've been lucky and have not had a lot of glitches. I really only had 2 that I can remember, and that includes the volume just completely cutting out and not working for me, and to fix that, I just had to completely restart my computer. Another one that I had was a glitch where the screen flashed rapidly until I moved the cursor on the trackpad, but when I stopped it started back up again. I know there are more like the GPU glitch where whenever you're using intensive applications on the 15-inch MacBook dedicated graphics, the whole Mac will slow down and just go crazy. Another really bad one is when you install Boot Camp and the speakers on the Mac just completely blow up and don't work. Those are just a few of probably a ton of glitches on this Mac. Speaking of speakers, I love them. If you get a chance to listen to the new speakers with the old generation MacBook right beside it, you will notice a huge improvement. I don't think I can explain to you how much better they are. The old speakers were just so tinny and soft, but now it's just so clear and you can hear everything and pick out different instruments that are playing in the music. I do notice a little bump even in the bass department. It is really enjoyable to listen to anything without hooking up to external speakers. They are also fire out of the front of the speaker next to the keyboard, which helps the quality of the sound even more. Lastly, the price. This computer is terribly overpriced for what you are actually getting. I paid $2,100 for a Core i5 2.9 GHz processor, 16 GB of DDR3 RAM, not DDR4 or DDR5, and integrated graphics, which are all soldered to the motherboard, which is unfortunate because you can't upgrade or fix anything in this computer. I think this is totally ridiculous and way overpriced, but I really want macOS, and the only reason I bought this computer is because I had the opportunity to. My parents needed a computer because their 15-year-old Windows XP laptop just wasn't cutting it anymore, so I sold them my old MacBook Pro and bought the new one for me. Don't get me wrong, it's a great laptop, but the price is just outrageous. Now, should you upgrade? If you need the latest and greatest and you have thousands of dollars to spend, then yes, but if you're the average person, last generation MacBook Pro will be just fine. If you found this video helpful, then leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media accounts down below right here, especially Twitter, because that's where you can find behind the scenes and special update information. This has been Joey from JJTHC, and I'll catch you in my next video. See ya!